And I can't even, I don't get to see it from that perspective, really,
Right. Like, where is she? I guess you're going to turn the music.
All right.
Yeah. It was my uncle's. Yeah, but it has a face on the top of it. Stop playing it. Please stand if you're willing and able. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Welcome! I'm Pastor Teresa. My pronouns are she, her, and you are welcome here. You are welcome whoever you are, wherever you're from, and whatever your story. You are not only welcome, but fully accepted, embraced, affirmed, and loved exactly as you are. No matter your spiritual background, beliefs, race, culture, age, neurodiversity, or abilities, you belong. With or without documentation, with any level of education or financial security, you are embraced. LGBTQIA questioning, however you identify, you are celebrated. Your gender is sacred, whether you are cisgender, transgender, non-binary, genderqueer, gender fluid, agender, two-spirit, or exploring your identity. You are seen, affirmed, and honored just as you are. If you believe in unicorns, you're welcome. All are welcome. Todos son bienvenidos aquí. In our services, please speak of the divine in the language that resonates with you. Whether a song or reading says God or another name, please use what feels right, even if it doesn't fit the rhyme or the rhythm. Meet the sacred, the mysterious, the divine in the way that speaks to you. We acknowledge that we gather on the unceded land of the Chukchansi people. We honor their history, their stewardship of this land, and their continued presence and resilience. One more quick note before we begin. We are live on Zoom, camera right there, and we are recording for Facebook right above that camera. So if you do not wish to be on video, do not walk past these cameras. To respect the dignity, safety, and comfort of everyone here, we kindly ask that you refrain from taking photos or videos of the congregation. If you do happen to capture someone in a photo, unintentionally, please ask for their permission before you share it on any social media. We want everyone to feel comfortable, so please feel free to move around as needed. We ask that you just try to do so quietly and in a way that keeps the experience smooth for everyone. Now please stand again if you are willing and able for our next song, which is This Little Light of Mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Our next song might be familiar to some. It's going to be new to us as a congregation, though. It's We Are a Gentle, Angry People. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are in straight together, and we are singing for our lives. We are in straight together, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. Go ahead and be seated. Okay.
I'm Chris Allen Rowe, and my pronouns are she and her. And I'm going to tell you a little bit today about the 6 sources of Unitarian Universalism. Let's see. Here we go. When people first learn about Unitarian Universalism, they often ask, if you're not all reading from one holy book, where do your beliefs come from? The answer is from many places. Unitarian Universalism is rooted in a living tradition, one that draws from a wide range of wisdom, both ancient and modern. We call these the 6 sources of our faith. They're not rules, they're not fixed doctrines. They're more like wells of inspiration, deep and varied, that help us make meaning and guide how we live. I'm going to share them with you, not as a list, but as a reflection on where we turn when we seek for truth and meaning, which is a topic for today. We draw from the direct experience of mystery and wonder. When that feeling you get under a starry sky, or when you hold a newborn, or when music moves you in a way you can't explain. That's a spiritual experience, and we honor it. We learn from the words and deeds of prophetic people, those who challenge injustice, speak uncomfortable truths, and lead with courage. Think of people like Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., or Bell Hooks, Greta Thunberg, or the prophets of Hebrew scripture. We also look to the wisdom of world religions, finding shared values and unique insights. We don't claim to own these teachings, but we listen with care, honoring their gifts. There is wisdom in Buddhism, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, earth-based traditions, and many others. The 4th source is Jewish and Christian teachings, especially those that call us to love our neighbors and care for the most vulnerable. Many UUs come from Christian or Jewish backgrounds, and we carry forward those teachings that help us move toward a more loving world. We also trust in humanist teachings, which affirm our ability to reason, to do good without belief in a higher power, and to find meaning in this life, here and now. Science, ethics, art, and compassion, all of these belong to humanist values. And 6th, we listen to earth-centered traditions, honoring the rhythms of nature, the turning of the seasons, and our deep connection to the web of life. This is spiritual too, especially in a time when our planet is calling for care. Together, these 6 sources invite us into a faith that is rich, diverse, and ever evolving. We don't ask people to check their brains or their experiences at the door. Instead, we ask, where do you find truth? What gives your life meaning? And how can we learn from one another as we seek together? That's the heart of Unitarian Universalism. And the 6 sources are our guideposts along the way toward a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, which is the 4th principle that we'll be talking about today. And we've got our chime, Kat, and Lydia's going to come up and do our chalice reading. Yep.
Okay. Hello. We light this chalice for the seekers, for those whose questions are many, whose doubts are strong, and whose courage to explore is deep. May this flame guide us as we search for truth, kindle wonder as we make meaning, and warm our hearts as we journey together.
All right. I think we've got a song, Teresa.
All right. So one thing that I love about being a Unitarian Universalist is that they have a lot of songs that are in a round. And the only thing that Chris hates about being a Unitarian Universalist is that they have a lot of songs that are in a round. So I was asked to make it a little bit more simple this time. So we're going to start with the harmony. And then we're going to add the melody. It's a little different this time. So follow me. We're going to go breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe. This side, continue that. This side, follow me. Breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in. out. I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. I breathe in, I breathe in out. I breathe out, I breathe out loud. I breathe in, I breathe in peace. I breathe out, I breathe out. All together. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. See, that was easy. Right? They've got it.
Our meditation this morning is inspired by the fourth principle, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. So let's take a breath and let your eyes rest gently on the flame of the chalice. Watch how it moves, soft, steady, alive. This flame is our symbol of truth and meaning. It reminds us that even when answers are unclear, something steady still burns within us. Take a slow breath in and out. Let your breath match the rhythm of the flame. In and out. You don't have to solve anything right now. You don't have to know everything. The search for truth doesn't always begin with thinking. It begins with noticing, with paying attention. So, just watch the flame. Let it remind you of your own inner light, your curiosity, your questions, your longings. You are not lost. You are searching, and that is sacred work. Feel the warmth of this light. Let it settle in your chest. Let it remind you that meaning grows one moment at a time, just like a flame grows from a single spark. Take one more deep breath in and out. When you're ready, gently return to this space, carrying the quiet light of the chalice with you on your journey. All right, and then we have joys and concerns. Teresa's got several up here. A couple are in cursive. I'll read for you when you get to them. But Pastor Teresa does not read cursive very well.
And it's not because I'm young and was not taught it. It's because when they taught it, they didn't know yet that I had autism, and my brain was like, okay, you changed the language. I never understood it.
I don't need to read cursive either.
There you go. All right. So, this one was from Kat. Joy to Jake and Gray for their baby. And prayer for Charlie. His back will stop hurting. From Lisa, a prayer to remain strong and not give in to fear. For Katie, that the second MRI is completed correctly. I know a thing or two about that. This is a prayer for the betterment of all. Oh, this one was given to us last week and somehow got missed, and I apologize. For the betterment of all, hope everything can be better. Let everything find meaning or peace. for people to find help and support, to reach more hearts, minds, and souls, for those in the darkness to find their light. And then Chris will read these two.
And if you want to claim that one, I would like your help with some readings sometime.
Okay.
Thank you, Forrest. All right, and we've got just a couple more. We've got from Donna. I pray that my husband gets work so we can get our truck plates and smog so we can be mobile again. And thankful for our church and apartments. And then from Jana, we've got, please pray for my daughter and son-in-law. They kind of split up and she is with some other dude. And I want her to get back with Ethan and be a family again.
Okay.
All right, is that everything?
All right. And let us say our prayer. Spirit of love, we give thanks for the joys that lift us up and offer comfort for the sorrows that weigh heavy. May we hold one another in kindness, finding strength, peace, and love into this community. Blessed be.
All right, we've got a little bit of a long story, but I really felt like it was perfect, and Teresa agreed to let me read it. So it's called The Missing Piece by Shel Silverstein.
I love this.
So here's where it starts. It was missing a piece, and it was not happy. So it set off in search of its missing piece. And as it rolled, it sang this song. Oh, I'm looking for my missing piece. I'm looking for my missing piece. Heidi-ho, here I go, looking for my missing piece. Sometimes it baked in the sun. But then the cool rain would come down. And sometimes it was frozen by the snow. But then the sun would come and warm it again. And because it was missing a piece, it could not roll very fast. So it would stop to talk to a worm. And you can't see, there's a tiny worm right down there. Or smell a flower. And sometimes it would pass a beetle. And there it is right over there, super little beetle. And sometimes the beetle would pass it. There it is right there. And this was the best time of all. And this is a butterfly sitting up here on the head. And on it went over oceans. Oh, I'm looking for my missing piece, over land and over seas. So grease my knees and fleece my bees. I'm looking for my missing piece. Through swamps and jungles. Up mountains. And down mountains. Until one day, lo and behold, I found my missing piece, it sang. I found my missing piece, so grease my knees and fleece my bees. I found my... Wait a minute, said the piece. Before you go greasing your knees and fleecing your bees, I am not your missing piece. I am nobody's piece. I am my own piece. And even if I was somebody's missing piece, I don't think I'd be yours. All right? It's kind of harsh. Oh, it said sadly, I'm sorry to have bothered you. And on it rolled. It found another piece. But this one was too small. And this one was too big. And this one was a little too sharp. Can you see it? Points out the other side. And this one was too square. One time it seemed to have found the perfect piece, but it didn't hold it tightly enough. and lost it. Another time it held too tightly and it broke. Look at that, it's crumbled. So sad. So on it rolled, having adventures, falling into holes, and bumping into stone walls. And then one day it came upon another piece that seemed to be just right. Hi, it said. Hi, said the piece. Are you anybody else's missing piece? Not that I know of. Well, maybe you want to be your own piece? I can be someone's and still be my own. Well, maybe you don't want to be mine. Maybe I do. Maybe we won't fit. Well, it fit, and it fit perfectly at last. And away it rolled, and because it was now complete, it rolled faster and faster, faster than it had ever rolled before. So fast it could not stop to talk to a worm. Oops, there it is. Or smell a flower. Too fast for a butterfly to land. But it could sing its happy song. At last it could sing, I found my missing piece. And it began to sing. Oh my. Now that it was complete, it could not sing at all. Aha, it thought. So that's how it is. So it stopped rolling. And it set the piece down gently. And slowly rolled away. Oh. And as it rolled, it softly sang, oh, I'm looking for my missing piece. I'm looking for my missing piece. Hidey-ho, here I go, looking for my missing piece. Butterfly. And then it rolls away. And that's the end. Oh, responsive reading. Teresa, will you help out with that one?
All right, I'm going to read the teeny tiny print, and you guys read the big bold print. May you never be afraid of your questions.
May we welcome our wondering and open hearts.
May you find meaning in quiet places and unexpected moments.
May we listen for truth in the stillness and the noise.
May your path be your own, lit by curiosity and courage.
May we honor the joys of others and make differ from our own.
May you trust what you discover and trust yourself enough to keep searching.
May we grow together in wisdom, humility, and love.
This is the blessing of the search. This is the promise of the free mind and the open heart.
And together we say, Amen, and it is so.
May it be so. So the fourth principle in UU is the free and responsible search for truth and meaning. And Chris always is confused, I think, sometimes by my sermon titles. And she always has questions like, did you mean to word it this way? Is there supposed to be punctuation in this? And I've come to realize that a lot of that stems from, I've spent most of my life in music ministry and in various music groups, and I play several instruments. And so I tend to often think in song lyrics and titles. And the title of today's sermon came from a song by Creed titled, What's This Life For? Yep. I think by now it is well known among all of us here that my sermons are never fully written and finalized until the early hours of Sunday morning. And one of the big reasons for this is because no matter how much planning I do, no matter how much writing I do throughout the week, no matter how long ago I chose the topic and the reading, etc., I always receive inspiration throughout the week. It's as if the universe just knows my topic for Sunday morning and is like, here, throw this in and this and this and this, and just throws things at me all week long. When I titled this sermon, I was thinking about the search for truth and meaning and the song by Creed. Song kept being stuck in my head, and I couldn't remember all the lyrics, and I don't think I've listened to the song really in about 20 years. So I listened to it again and thinking, it had to be an inspirational song. I mean, this is the band that gave us Higher and with Arms Wide Open. And then when I sat down Monday to start writing, I remembered that this song is actually about suicide, which for the purpose of our social media apps will from this point forward be called self-unaliving, because you can't use that word on social media. And so I thought for a second, and I thought, okay, lesson learned. If you're naming a sermon after a song, re-listen to it. But then this whole week turned out to have this overarching mental health theme to it, which makes me think maybe God, the universe, the higher power, whatever you want to call it, wants me to say something on this subject. This week, I've heard personal stories of several people's efforts to unalive themselves in the past. In a couple instances, I've reciprocated their vulnerability by sharing my own struggle with this several years ago. This week, I've prayed for and with several people who've suffered significant loss, recent deaths in their family, loss of a job, home, etc. This week, I've reached out to several people who are struggling with fear due to triggers around them resurfacing from their trauma that they have not yet healed from. There's a young lady in the apartments who suffered a serious fall. Her face looks like she was beaten up. I found myself reaching out to other women who live there who've been victims of domestic violence to reassure them there isn't some scary person walking around, but rather a very dubious countertop and a lady with a heart condition. I then had to help that same person file everything she needed to be able to pay her bills while off work, and help her battle the feelings that doing so brought up that caused remembering what caused her to be homeless before. I found myself battling my own triggers for trauma that I've experienced around being homeless and losing all my things. For me, I was triggered by the horrible behavior of some people who used to be my friends, which seems to have also triggered pain from church trauma I experienced 20 years ago when I came out. This week, I've helped spread the message that we're having a rally, and I'll spread it here too, for Trans Day of Visibility tomorrow at 5 p.m. at the corner of 41 and 49. And I've listened to and supported people who are terrified to attend such an event because of the current political climate in our country and in our town. All this week, the universe has put person after person in my path who is struggling with or overcoming serious mental health issues and serious personal struggles. And at the same time, I've had to re-examine my own healing process on some of the same issues. All week, I've listened to and held space for people who are deeply questioning the meaning of life, because often it is in our darkest moments that we seek out just one meaningful reason to keep going. We seek out that one anchor that will hold us here just a little bit longer. That one thing we haven't done yet that we still want to do. We think about that loved one whose life would be ruined if we left it too soon. The human spirit has an amazing resilience for clinging to life as hard and as long as it can if only we listen. So that tells me there must be a larger meaning. So I ask you, what is this life for? Well, the answer to that question is deeply personal to each one of us. It really comes down to what gives you purpose and meaning, as well as what do you believe your purpose and meaning is in being here? Or do you even believe there is a purpose to being here? Do you believe you were placed here by a power greater than yourself? Or do you believe it's all a random crapshoot that led to your existence? Do you believe how you live while you're here will have an impact on the world once you're gone? Do you believe your actions while you're here will have an impact on what happens to you after this life? Or do you believe it doesn't really matter all that much either way, what you do while you're here, because it's just a temporary blip in the great span of time? When we ask these big questions and seek meaning in our lives, it has a way of pulling us out of our own despair and turmoil. It helps to focus outward, to see yourself as a part of something bigger when looking for a reason to keep going. So, what is the bigger purpose? In the Christian Bible, in the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 8, and this is from the New Egalitarian Translation. Listen here, mortal. God has already made it abundantly clear what good is and what Yahweh needs from you. Simply do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with your God. Pagan writer Doreen Valentine writes in her book, The Charge of the Goddess, "Let my worship be in the heart that rejoices, for behold, all acts of love and pleasure are my rituals. Let there be beauty and strength, power and compassion, honor and humility, mirth and reverence within you." The meaning to life and the meaning and truth in some of life's biggest questions is not only deeply personal, but it is also something that I think changes for us over time. I asked ChatGPT to give me some common things that people turn to for their meaning of life. And it gave me a list: relationships, faith, helping others, personal learning and growth, creativity, becoming one with nature, personal achievement, exploration, carrying on tradition and heritage, and simply being in the moment. How many of us can attest to different times in our life when we had different elements of those meanings? The Bible calls us to see each of these as valid meanings because we are each allowed to find our own meaning. I think one of the biggest meanings that I have found for my own life is helping others in any way that I can. Being helpful to others brings me joy and a sense of purpose. I think if I can make the world a better place to live in for just one person, and that one person can make it better for another person, and so on, then eventually the world will be a better place for all. But there have been times in my life when helping others was not so much my meaning, but serving God was. My faith had a deeper purpose and meaning at those times. There have been times in my life when my aspirations for higher education engulfed all of my meaning, and that was my greatest purpose. What brings meaning to our lives can change, which leads me to believe that the meaning of this life and what this life is for is more than just one thing. The same can be said of truth. I have a question to the audience. What is something that you were certain was true as a child that now as an adult you know is false?
Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. What else? What's maybe something we were taught in school that we now know is no longer true?
A bunch of stuff.
Yeah. When I was in school, there were 9 planets. Now there's 8. Or Pluto.
Columbus and all that, and Mayflower, all that.
That I want to need,
Yeah.
that I want to need algebra after college and have that use.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't learn algebra until I was a union carpenter and training and did all that. And I learned algebra by that measuring tape and doing all the cutting and everything.
Yep.
You learned it, didn't even know it.
As a child and even well into my 20s, I believed that every single word of the Christian Bible was 100% accurate. It wasn't until at least my late 30s that I came to question one of the most unlikely stories, Noah's Ark. I was stunned that I, a scientifically minded person, found a way for 37 years to believe that penguins somehow traveled all the way from Antarctica to the desert to get on a boat. But that is what I was taught, and I was also conveniently taught not to question the Bible. Now, science and archaeology does tell us that there was a big flood at some point, likely caused by the shifting of the tectonic plates or a large earthquake/tsunami that many people would have died in as a result. But there is zero science or archaeology to back up all the animals in the world getting on a boat with the town drunk and his family for 40 days and nights. And this is one of the many reasons that the more I learn about Unitarian Universalism, the more I love it, because as a UU, it is our responsibility to ask questions and to search for truth and meaning. The search for truth and meaning should be a lifelong search. It should be in and of itself part of our meaning. I watched a TikTok recently where a pastor asked his congregation, what would happen if God came down and said yes to every single thing you've prayed for in the past week? What would change? What would the long-term effect be? Would you have gotten to all your destinations faster because the lights turned green? Would you have extra money in the bank? Would your favorite sports team have won the championship? Did your favorite song play on the radio? Or would racism be eradicated? Would cancer be cured? Homelessness be solved? Would the planet be healed and climate change reversed? Would there be no more hunger, no more war, no more injustice? Regardless of what you believe is a higher power, if it came down today and said yes to everything that you've put your intentions towards, everything that you've prayed for, would there simply be minor changes in your personal life? Or would there be huge, lasting, global changes for every being on this planet? If your answer was the first, why are you limiting your God? Why are you placing limits on the universe, the divine, or whatever you call your higher power? Why are you wasting energy on praying for things that really have no lasting impact? In searching for the meaning of life and truth, I encourage you this coming week to ask yourself, where are you setting your intentions? What are you praying for? What are you placing the highest value on? What do you find meaningful in your life? What makes you get out of bed each morning? What brings you joy? What is your anchor that keeps you here when life gets too hard and you can't imagine staying even one more day? And most importantly, how can you apply all of that in a way that helps others? Amen. Our musical meditation, I thought really spoke to this meaning and to looking outside of ourselves and to others and to, rescuing those in need. Oh, come on. Well, not Dunkin' Donuts, I'll tell you that. Doesn't seem to matter how many times we practice. It's always going to do something.
Well, that is not good.
Oh, good movie.
There's a skip down in the bottom.
I know, but it won't let me scroll it for some reason.
Let me see my, my clicker.
There it goes. There you go. There you go.
This is nothing like Fortnite.
Wow, my clicker will point on it, but not click on
Yep,
it.
I see that. There we go.
Because you practice code too many times.
Clearly.
And I'm sorry the lyrics are in cursive. I had no control.
Never been a moment you were forgotten. You are not hopeless. You have been broken, your innocence stolen. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. There is no distance that cannot be covered over and over. You're not defenseless. I'll be your shelter, I'll be your honor. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you. I hear the whisper underneath your breath. I hear you whisper you have nothing left. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you. Oh, I will rescue you.
I love that song. Wants to go to the next slide.
What's her name?
Lauren Daigle.
Yeah, I know. I'll have to listen.
There we go. Okay. All right. So, expressing our generosity. If you would like to make a donation, our biggest expense right now is still rent, which is due tomorrow. And there's a basket in the back. We also have a link on Zelle if you want that. There's envelopes, and you can just place money in the basket if you want. We also would love your help brainstorming fundraising. or anything else you can think of. We will have a financial report next week. I think our goal is going to be to have those before each board meeting. So if you're on the board or would like to join us for a board meeting, which the last one was pretty awesome, that's next week, and it'll be right after the service, and we'll figure out something with food as well. So, and then as far as announcements, next board meeting, April 6th after church. The garage sale's coming up. That's the free garage sale at River Grove. Bring us your donations on April 11th. We'll be setting up April 11th. We need helpers to set up. And then the sale is actually on the 12th. So it's something like 9 to 3, something like that. And it's for people in the apartments to come and just take whatever they need. And we'll also be collecting a wish list. So if you come and there's something you're looking for and you don't have it there, we can make a note, because we get donations all the time and we get offers all the time, and we just need to match up the people with the things and the food too. We have our covenant workshop coming up. The board officers will be there on Tuesday, April 15th. That's off-site in the evening. But if it's something that interests you, talk to Teresa or I. We'd love to have input on that as well. And Easter's coming up, the flower communion on April 20th. And then Teresa, you want to say a little bit about the rally?
Yeah, so the Trans Day of Visibility rally, that Trans Day of Visibility is tomorrow, April 31st. That is a set date, by the way, contrary to what some protested years ago, thinking that Biden declared that it would be on Easter. No, it's been March 31st for quite some time. Easter is a moving holiday. So that rally will be on the corner of 41 and 49. It's being organized predominantly by Oakhurst LGBTQ. And we will be out there with signs and flags, just showing support. I'll be out there with the karaoke machine playing some good music. And then the plan is those that want to will go to Southgate afterwards.
Where?
Corner of 41 and 49. I would imagine the one closest to Chase.
Chase.
Yeah. The corner closest to Chase Bank. In the past, if there has been a lot of us, we've moved to multiple corners. But I believe we're all going to congregate at Chase Bank because that's where the best parking is, which is why they decided on that corner this time instead of 41 and 426 like they've done in the past. It'll be at 5 p.m. And let me just say, you guys make it really hard to stay humble sometimes. And I was talking to Pastor Kim of the UCC Church and telling her how hard you guys make it to stay humble sometimes, because I am so proud of how many people from our church were there to support the others from our church who are part of River Grove. So I want to thank you to all of you who came, all of you who gave encouraging words of support online. I was just beaming with pride as your pastor that so many were there, that we had our own little MUU section. And I hope that we can also join together for this rally and show support to our trans brothers and sisters. After we finish, just so you all know, because I know that there were questions at the board meeting when we were going around sharing our pronouns. After this series on UU principles, I'm going to start a series on social justice issues, and I will explain more what some of these things mean. But in the meantime, if you have questions, please feel free to ask. In fact, those who are here and are a member of the LGBTQ community, would you mind raising your hand? You can ask any of us. I know that everyone here is an open book that raised their hands. You can ask any of us questions on what exactly the importance is of things like Trans Day of Visibility and our support. Also, on that note, I want to add that I kind of unilaterally made a choice because it had to be made in the moment, but I have registered us to join with the UCC Church, Yosemite Democrats, and Oakhurst LGBTQ to have a parade in Fresno Pride. A float and a booth at Fresno Pride. My truck is the only one out of all 4 groups capable of hauling a float. And so I kind of had to be the one to make the decision, and I did so. And so we're all signed up and registered. So, all right.
Okay.
And that is it for announcements. Yes.
Oh, hospitality team training.
Oh, yes. Yes. We're still taking up people that want to sign up for the hospitality and outreach training. And once I know who all's coming to that, we will set a date.
What is it?
Hospitality and outreach, huh? What is it or when? When?
No,
What? Oh, so I have a insane amount of experience in the hospitality industry and in church training gatherings that I've gone to. And so I've put together a training program for how to best greet people when they come to visit, things that I'd like to see the hospitality team. We have a hospitality committee, things that I'd like to see them do more of in terms of greeting and setup and whatnot, as well as ways to talk to your friends and neighbors about what is UU and encourage them to come join us. So, yeah.
All right. And then we have a new song.
Yes, we have a new song. If you grew up in any sort of traditional Christian church, you may be familiar with the doxology. At some point, some UU music director rewrote the doxology with UU words. So it's that same tune, da 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 da, but with different words. So here we go. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Oh my goodness. From all that dwell from below the skies, let faith and hope with love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung through every land and every tongue. Amen.
And Libby's going to do our words for extinguishing the chalice.
Okay. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of insight, the fire of curiosity, or the glow of shared discovery. May we carry them with us into the world, into our lives, and into the ongoing search for truth and meaning.
Amen.
May the love that unites us be our guide, the healing that renews us be our strength, and the light within us shine against the shadows. May we say farewell to hatred and cast out pain, welcoming peace, compassion, and justice in their place. Go forth in love, and may love go forth with you. Amen, Amin, Shalom, Om Shanti, Sat Nam. May it be so.
For donut holes and snacks. Got coffee going? If you want decaf, let us know. We've got Keurig cups. Look, say Grandma. You blow Grandma a kiss? She's looking at donuts, Grandma.
Can I
Yeah.
She says I will blow kisses to donuts.